Hello friends, my name is Koolio and welcome back to the channel. Today guys, we're taking a first look impressions video for Last Cloudia. This is one of my most anticipated mobile games of the year and it finally launched over in Japan just a couple of hours ago. So I've been playing the game. I'm not super far into the game, but I have had a couple of you guys already ask like what type of game is this? So I decided to jump in, play the game for a little bit, give you guys a very early first impressions for the game, and then to come out with some further advanced maybe guides or gameplay videos down the line. So let's just go ahead, we're gonna jump in and talk a little bit about the impressions I've already had for this game. I am really impressed so far. I love the aesthetics as well as the sound design for the game is absolutely beautiful. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna jump into the gameplay and we're gonna go into a cutscene. Now, after you've beaten chapter 1, it unlocks a couple more features in the game for advancement. Now, I haven't unlocked everything, but the reason why I decided to stop at this point in the game is to show you guys some of the story and sound design for the game. So let's go ahead. We're gonna jump into the main story. Now, a lot of you guys might be wondering, Koolio, this is a game that is only in Japanese right now. It's not in English. How hard of a game is it gonna be playing if I don't understand the language? Actually, like super easy. There are some English translations here and there for certain things, but to be honest, if you've ever played a gacha game before, you're gonna get this really easily, like right off the bat. If you don't really want to worry too much about min-maxing your character with certain stats and things like that, this is gonna be a game that you're just going to enjoy for the gameplay and its overall design. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna jump into the next story area and show you what I'm talking about when it comes to like the cinematic design for this game. Now, one of the only downsides, I think, to the story of this game is the fact that there isn't any voice acting. It's just text. So if you don't know the language, you're not going to understand the story. But to be honest, I don't really play these games for the story, but this game does have a pretty heavy emphasis on story. So that might be something a little bit more important to look into. Maybe down the line, maybe people will work on English translations for the story. Who knows? Like, I'll look forward to the story when it finally does come out in English, but as of right now, I'm mainly going to focus on the gameplay. So we're just going to go ahead. You can just go ahead and tap on the screen, and it'll just kind of skip through the story like this. But you can't really skip through the whole thing. I've tried pausing it up at the top and try to hit that skip button, but it just won't let you do it. I'm not entirely sure why, but the story is important to the game. And so for those of you that like story can look forward to it when it officially launches in English. Others, you can just, tap the screen, skip past it, and actually get into the gameplay. So here we go. We're going to actually jump into the next little chapter phase of where we're at, and we'll actually do some actual combat of the game. Now, I've done a couple of videos and stuff, and one of my first videos for this game was on combat, and some of the things that I saw in earlier gameplay previews for this is the fact that you could control your character. You can kind of move them around by swiping the red button down there at the center. That's not the case. It actually makes me kind of sad that we can't do that, but basically the game does have a sort of auto combat system set up. If you want to change that, if you don't want your character to just automatically move around and attack enemies, go ahead and hit the top right menu screen, hit the settings on the bottom right, and then tap this check mark up here. Basically, it tells your units not to auto combat. I'm keeping it on as of right now because but you can't move your character around. All you can do is just tap the screen. So it's pretty much the exact same thing, except you just have to kind of, waste your energy with your thumb tapping the screen constantly. But the things that you can do in the game is you can swap between your different units that you have, your different teammates, activating their special abilities as well as their magical abilities. And so a lot of the strategy of the combat in this game will be the timing of using those abilities. So I can go ahead and use his ability, swap over, activate maybe a magical ability this guy has, activate it, causing some lightning come down and do some serious damage. She's got a healing magical ability, so if I wanted to heal one of my teammates, I could activate that. I'm actually not going to go ahead and do that right now. We're just going to exit out of that. But you can go back and forth using their abilities. You can see that there is a number next to the ability up in the top left that represents how many charges you have for that specific skill. So you can tap, if you've got 3 of them, you can use them all in succession, one after the other. However, I do want to let you guys know there is kind of an interesting thing when it comes to the combat, is if you're trying to use an ability, like a skill or a magical like spell, your character won't activate it until they've completely finished their animation for their previous attack or skill or if they're moving towards an enemy. So just let you know, skills are sort of animation locked, and so you're not gonna be able to just, you know, when you try to use them and you notice that your character isn't using it right when you tapped on it, just give it a second, let the character finish their previous animation, and then they'll be able to jump in and actually activate that ability. It was something that kind of threw me off for just a second, but I wanted to let you guys know kind of how that works. So once you've finished a combat round or whatever story you're going through, your characters gain experience. You can see their overall stats. You can see that the stats they have like English translation behind them. And then these are known as your arcs or artifacts, I'm going to call them just moving forward. These artifacts are sort of special items that you get through the gacha system that you'll equip onto your characters. Now, this game does have a gacha system behind it, but the gacha system is more focused on the arcs or the artifacts than it is on the heroes, which I'll get into that a little bit later down the line. Then you gain overall experience for your account's rank. You level up, and then it'll ask you, do you want to be friends with the person that helped you out, the support character that you added onto your team? I just kind of hit no as of right now because, you know, they're all Japanese speakers and I'm not entirely sure, you know, how to team up and do stuff like that. So let's go ahead and pick another teammate real quick. We're going to jump in and do another combat scenario just to give you guys a better idea of what the combat looks like and maybe some of the story behind the game, which I showed you before. But there is some, like I'm telling you, some absolutely incredible sound design and art animations to this game. That's seriously one of my favorite things about it, is its overall look and the way that it sounds. Now, on top of that, I just want to talk a little bit more about combat right now. You can see I've got two kind of grayed out empty areas. It's because I haven't unlocked those skills just yet, but as I level up and progress my character, I'll eventually unlocking those through this really interesting skill tree system, which I'll get into a little bit later. And then on the very bottom right is my character's ultimate ability, which slowly grows or gains energy as I'm playing through the game, and then I'll be able to activate that ability, causing a significant amount of damage or healing or whatever to my enemies or to my teammates. So I don't think I'm going to actually be able to have a chance to kind of show you what that looks like, because I haven't really come across, like, maybe this boss, it'll give me enough charges, enough energy to be able to activate it. So we're just going to go ahead and just pop off these one after the other, and I just used all my abilities all at once. Now there is an option that is selected that your teammates, if you don't want to control them, they will just go ahead and activate their ultimate abilities and their basic skills if you don't want to do that. So you can leave that unlocked unless you seriously just want to go through and like manually do a lot of this stuff. I recommend just keeping it on, but I'm sure, you know, down the line when we come across, you know, bosses and raid bosses and things like that, we may want to have full control over our characters. And so I'm going to go ahead, on the very bottom left, you can actually pause the game and swap between targeting between different enemies. So my character is currently going after this goblin. Maybe I want him to go after this goblin. I'll go ahead and hit attack and he'll actually move over to that character. Now, I want him to focus on the boss. So I'm going to go ahead and tap this again. Focus on the boss, go ahead and make my character move over there and begin to attack it, and then activate my ultimate ability, which I just tapped right there. And there we go. My character activates his ability, activates his awesome skill animation, which looks really, really amazing. I'm glad I got the chance to actually show you guys what that looks like, because like I said, it's pretty dope. So we just got to finish off the rest of these enemies, taking them down, slow-mo finish, and there we go. We just finished another combat round. Quest clear, and then we're going to go through, tap this. You'll see we gain certain experience points. We gain currencies. We gain these blue crystals is the premium currency in the game, and I've noticed that you usually gain around like 100 to 150 premium crystals depending on what chapter you're going through. So basically, if you go through, I believe, like 30 chapters, maybe 3 full chapters or whatever, you gain enough to do a 10-time summon. The game does give you enough at the beginning to do a 10-time summon for your first summon chance, you know, for your artifact or for your characters. And it also gives you, if you do a specific type of summon, I believe it has to be 10-time summon, it is going to give you a guaranteed SSR, which is the rarest in the game, which I really like. But I do want to actually talk a little bit about the summoning in this game, so we're going to jump over to the summoning right now so I can show you guys kind of how that looks like. Actually, before we do that, let me just show you what I was talking about when it comes to the skilled animation in this game. Also, just let you know, look out on the map because you'll find hidden treasures that are kind of hidden here and there. If you tap on it, it gives you resources, as well as there's this like soul well or soul stone that gives you some resources here and there. So make sure to come back and collect those as well. So let's go ahead and head back to the main screen. Before we do the summon, let me just go ahead and show you some of the units that I've got right now and what it means to actually upgrade and enhance them. You can upgrade and enhance their level, their stars, as well as like there's like a diamond ranking thing. I'm not entirely sure exactly how that works, but on the very bottom, if I go ahead and tap that, it opens up this really big skill tree, which I can go through using specific resources that I've acquired simply by playing through the game to unlock specific nodes, such as defense nodes, attack nodes. And then as you actually go through and unlock these, it looks like you actually will unlock special abilities as well. So I've already got one kind of unlocked right here that I'm tapping on, but it's not going to bring it up. But it looks like once I've unlocked this node right here and then unlock this next one just after it, I will unlock a brand new ability. And I like that. I love this type of customization. You can see some of these really crazy ultimate skills all around here. So I'm currently, my main focus as of right now is just to go straight up this line for attack damage to see if I can't get this final one up here at the very top. I'm not entirely sure what it does, but it looks important. So that's what I was talking about when it comes to enhancing your character. You can also go ahead and hide the screen and take a look at their amazing art. Like I said, looks absolutely fantastic. So let's go ahead. We're going to head back and actually talk about the summoning, and we're going to go ahead and end the video after we do the summons. Now, when it comes to the summoning rates in this game, the game has a heavier emphasis on artifacts than it does on characters. Now, you can see the summoning rates currently right there, 65 for a rare, 27 for an SR, 5% for an SSR, and then a 3% for units. Now, the game doesn't have a whole lot of units. I believe there's only like 10 other ones that you don't have when you first start off the game. So your main focus on gacha summoning is going to be on the artifacts rather than the units, which I did get kind of a little disappointed when I found out that we're not going to be collecting a whole bunch of units. But that will probably change as we go down the line, have collaborations and updates. More and more characters will become available. And so I'm not really too worried about that. As well as these arcs or these artifacts look absolutely amazing. So we're going to go ahead and actually summon right here. And cross your fingers that we actually get a brand new unit, because there's only a 3% chance to do it. So for any of you guys that are trying to re-roll or whatever, go for that 3% chance for the hero. That's what you're going to want to get. So here's the summoning animation. My character's going to jump forward, slam the golden orb after I touch it, and we want it to go red, and I believe it should go red because we get a guaranteed, or maybe there's a specific banner. There we go. It's red. I was getting a little worried right there because I was pretty sure if you do a 10-time summon, you get a guaranteed SSR, which we got 2 SSRs, which is awesome. So with these artifacts too, one thing I love is it actually tells you the name of the artifact in English. So the Mirage Sand Tower, and the next one is, and these things look absolutely incredible. I love these. The Witch's House. Next one is a SR. This is the Prayer of a Little Girl. Okay, I don't have that one yet. If you get duplicates of certain arcs, I believe it just enhances your previous one. Not 100% sure how that works, but as I play the game a little bit more, I'll come out with videos about it. So Aurora Glacier. Next up, we've got, ooh, this one looks really cool. The Rad Moon Ruins. Okay, they're seriously rad. We got a duplicate right there, and then we got another SSR. Whoa. This one's called the Golem Core. Look how cool that looks. I freaking love it. Next one is an SR, which is the Eternal Clock of KREW. Okay, that's pretty cool. And then our final SSR, which is the Heaven's Bow Star Lord. That looks really cool. So you can take these artifacts that you get from summoning, and you can actually equip them onto the character in the unit screen right here. So I'm actually going to go through and replace a couple of these with the SSR ones I just barely summoned, which should be down here at the very bottom. We'll go ahead and do this one. Yes, and then very bottom we had the Heavens one right here. I don't remember exactly what it was called, but you can see the stat changes up at the top right, and then this one gives you, looks like it gives me crit plus 5%. I don't know if it's damage or the possibility of critting, but like I said, don't worry too much about the English or the Japanese language unless you seriously want to try to min-max your account. Well, guys, that is it for Last Cloudia. I will be coming out with more videos of it in the near future as I play a little bit more of it, as I try my best to translate a lot of the systems and mechanics behind the game. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more mobile gaming videos coming in the future. All right, friends, I'll see you next time.